Hi, my name is Tony, and I have decided to make a video on anxiety and panic. There are a million videos out there on exercise and anxiety and panic. But it's like looking for a therapist. You find someone you connect with. What makes me completely different? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I have my email address at the bottom of the screen here. And I want you to write into me. And I want you to tell me your story. Or if you have questions, and we'll get it on the air. My goal is to do 10 shows. We might do more. It depends on you. But I'm here because I wasted 10 years of my life having anxiety and panic. I was a business owner. I owned a talent agency. My talent agency, I grew it to be nationwide. I had satellite offices everywhere in the country that had a convention center for trade shows. I had local talent everywhere in the country. And before that, I was an actress, a model, and I did pretty well. But I learned a lot. We didn't have the media, we didn't have YouTube, didn't have any of that. So your work ethic was completely different, and it was perhaps a little harder. But that was then, and we're here today. This is April 2020. If you're suffering from anxiety and panic, and you're a worrier perhaps, or you just lost somebody to the virus, and you're dealing with this, well, you're in a world of hurt right now. I tried to figure out how I could encompass everybody from every walk of life. I can't do that. I can only tell you my story and how I fought it and why I'm here as I am, sitting in front of you today. And if you pick up one thing from me, I'm grateful. I really am. A friend of mine said to me, when you give something away, Tony, for free, it's not worth anything. Well, I don't believe that. I have something to offer you with no strings attached, no ulterior motive. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just telling you my story to perhaps help you realize you're not going crazy. You're okay. I mean, all the videos out there, I even checked out my favorite girl, Oprah. She's done amazing things on this topic. But I think it's time for someone else to come on and talk to you about it. All the media out there, all the commercials you watch, there's a pill for everything. But then they give you all the side effects of that pill. And the one that cracks me up laughing is the one that says, but if you should die, let us know. I don't know what the product is, but it's like, what? And people can get caught up in that. People who are home a lot. I mean, anxiety and panic can hit anyone from any age. If you've never had it, and you reached your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you need new tools. That's the goal. You pick up tools from when you were in your 20s and 30s to survive, and they worked for you, and it's a formula that you keep because it's tried and true, and you believe in it. Well, you reach a point where those old tools do not work for you anymore. Some of you cannot run out to a therapist, or you can't afford it. Can't run to the doctor because he's just going to give you a pill to make you feel better. Anxiety and panic takes work to get over. And I mean, if you want to live a quality life, and we all do, you're going to put the work in. My own mother suffered from anxiety and panic her whole life. That's another story. But she was always looking for the magic pill. So she would get a pill from a doctor. She'd go home, sit in her safe, dark bedroom, watching TV, smoking one cigarette after another, and waiting for the pill to work. And then 2 weeks later, she'd say, well, it didn't work. I have to go back and get another one. And that was the cycle she was in. My mother is still with us. She's like Archie Bunker. But she never wanted to put the work in, ever. And when I realized that I was going through menopause at 40 and I was being hit with anxiety and panic, I was taking the anxiety and panic and putting it into the reaction of starting menopause. No, I had two things going on there. Two things. And it's not until you crash and burn, which I did. I lived in Manhattan, West Village. You don't have the luxury of whining and saying, gee, I'm going to lay in bed today. I'll feel much better tomorrow. Plus, I had employees and models depending on a paycheck from me. And it was coming from all over. But you know, I never really attribute anxiety and panic to that. So when you look at your life, take a pad of paper, sit down, make notes. Did you feel a floaty feeling? Were you hyperventilating? What were you doing when you felt out of control? I mean, really, you do feel out of control. I was traveling so much that one day I was going from Atlanta to Chicago. My legs gave out from under me as you walk on the runway thing to get on the plane. And my legs gave out. And all I could think of was, I can't do this anymore. I can't. Luckily, I had a good flight attendant and pilot who got me to Chicago. And then I started to travel by train. And that's another story. But this is what you do to protect yourself. I never told my family. I never told my friends. For fear that I would get phone calls of, how are you today? Are you doing okay? All that would do is feed into my anxiety and panic. I didn't want those phone calls. I didn't want to be asked how I was doing, because it would just give it more life. So I cut myself off from everybody. All I did was get on the phone with my clients at 8 a.m. in the morning, work all day, leave the office, and crawl into my bed. And started the cycle all over again. So with all this being said to you, I want to help you. I want to at least let you know what I went through with my anxiety and panic. You never get over it. It's like an alcoholic. Once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. Once you have anxiety and panic, you always have anxiety and panic. But, as with an alcoholic and anxiety and panic, you learn new tools to cope. You understand what is happening. You know when you're about to get hit with it. You know, it's like people who go through it, I want to wrap you in a blanket and hug you and say it's going to be okay. Because it is going to be okay. And we can make it okay. Let me give you the tools that I learned, and maybe it'll help you. I hope it does. So with all the videos out there, all the books, and believe me, there are so many books on anxiety and panic, it can be kind of confusing. I did find one book that really, really helped, and I'll give you the name of that later on in the shows. But in the meantime, write into me. Let's get started. Let's do this together. And there's no question that is foolish. And let's keep our humor if we can. Let's get crazy a little bit, because that's what brings back your control. So until the second show, I look forward to your emails. You take care. Mwah.